Now, I don't know who it was that alerted me to this wonderful document, but thank you. It was somebody who commented on my Auto Express video from the other day talking about brake dust. Anyway, Auto Express last month did a wonderful article on the top 10 fastest depreciating cars in the UK. And I thought, I'll have a look. I reckon there'll be a milk float or two in there. Well, here we go, in the style of Alan Fluff Freeman, not half pot pickers, with the top 10 fastest depreciating cars in the UK. In at number 10, I may have covered this already several times. You can find test drive videos, you can find reviews, and you can find commentary about it on at least 3 different videos if you go back through my archive. The Jaguar I-Pace. Lovely car, weighs a ton, doesn't go round corners, and on top of that, depreciates like no tomorrow. Glasses down, everybody. According to the picture that you've just seen, average new price 70 grand, average retained value after 3 years, 21,525, a loss of 69.25% of the value. I don't know what you're thinking. Shit, that's I. That ain't number 1. That's number 10. So there we have it. The I-Pace, a car designed by a company that has now gone woke and gone broke, and went broke before that because it was producing shit like the I-Pace. Number 9. Well, here's a curveball. Didn't see this coming, but it's a largely known fact that any very expensive saloon, well, it does seem to be the saloons more than anything else, any saloon that's a luxury model, I mean like the BMW 8 Series and the Audi 8 Series have 4 years, or the BMW 7 Series in the 740s especially, have for years depreciated. Literally the minute, you don't even need to drive them out the showroom. As soon as you sign the form, they've depreciated. You haven't even got in it yet. So it's no surprise to see the Maserati ghibli here. But there is good news. I mean, it's a 3.8 litre V8, and it's depreciated by only 0.03% more than the I-Pace. But it does have an average new price of 160 grand. And an average retained value of 48 grand, which is a shame because the ghibli is on my list of cars to own, but not at 48 grand. But if it keeps depreciating at the rate it's going, in a couple of years' time, I'll go up the auction and pick one up for a tenner. So there we go. Number 8, as I said, large saloons are largely depreciative, and the Audi S6 is no exception. But I'll tell you why this is undesirable. It's the Audi S6. So it's luxury, it's top end, it's 87 grand. And the reason that nobody wants them is because they've stuck a 3 litre TDI engine in it. If you're buying a 90 grand saloon, my guess is you're not bothered about fuel economy because you know that you're losing money and you're just having one for status. And I think it actually says here, it's always a lease firm or PCP agreement, virtually no private sales, because these are just company cars for directors. And with a 3 litre TDI engine in it, why would you bother? You'd go for a 4.2 V8, wouldn't you, every time? So at number 8, the Audi S6, dropping like a stone, also at 69%, but a little bit more. New, 87 grand now, 25. Still not bothered at 25, to be honest, and I love an Audi. Number 7, the Vauxhall Corsa Electric. Now, this is a surprise. Shall I tell you why I'm surprised? I'm surprised it's only at number 7. I expected this to be top 3 minimum. It's one of the worst electric cars on the road with the worst range. It comes from the Stellantis group of all Vauxhall, Peugeot, Citroen, and they're all shit. collectively shit. So it's no surprise whatsoever. Yeah, the surprise is that it's only at number 7. Comes in at 32 grand brand new. Now, see, this is where I think when you get the cheaper cars that do this, this is the scary bit. Because for somebody with a PCP and an Audi S6 banging out 90 grand, £600 a month payments, comes out their salary, they don't see it, they don't give a shit. It's all factored into their package. Some unsuspecting individual who has been brainwashed by the masses and the media and everything else goes into their local dealership. They've been driving around in a nice Corsa petrol, and they may have one on a payment plan or something, and they go in and they go, oh, look, we could have an electric one. And they're offering a hell of a deal. So they go in and they part with 32 grand, hypothetically, for this thing. And then in 3 years' time, they come back and their balloon payment's 18 grand. And the retained value on it is 9,900. After 3 years, a brand new car worth less than 10 grand. That is proper depreciation right there. That is milk floatery in action. 32 grand, 3 years later, you ain't even getting 5 figures back for it. Oh, that taxi driver looked weird. Number 6. This doesn't happen very often. It's happened today. The glass is on. It's a G. The GWM Aura 03. I got nothing. I mean, obviously Chinese. It's only got a 48 kilowatt battery, so the range will be shit. Again, it's less than 32 grand brand new, and it's value after 3 years. Well, I can't believe it. There's any here that are 3 years old. They can't have sold this many in Britain. Somebody do the work that I can't be asked to. Right. The GWM Aura. I mean, I'll put this picture up again so you can have another look at it. Oh, it's shit, innit? That's the kind of facelift a mother couldn't love. I mean, it's just shocking. There's a bit of Renault around the bonnet stroke bumper. Those headlights, it's like a bastardised version of an Austin Healey. They've put the exhaust at the front. Back end, again, yeah, I'm going to go Renault Clio. Was probably where the designers nicked some sort of 20-year-old design footprint from it and bastardised it. God, it's awful. How's that only number 6 in the Ghibli's? Oh, shocking. Number 5, the Audi A8. There you go. Proven by, but this one is it's the TDI V6. No, it's the same thing, but it's the variant 50, which used to mean 5 litre. Now in Audi world is just the spec. If it's 50, it's a better spec than 40 because they don't use S-Line anymore, but they do use Sport Technology Pro Pack. So they've just done it to confuse people. It's worked. Used to be quite simple. You knew exactly where you were with an Audi. You bought an Audi, you might get the TF, the TFSI, or you might get the Sport the S-Line, or you went for the S, or you went for the RS. Everyone knew where they were. Didn't suit Audi because people had cottoned onto it, so now they've confused everyone. But they've still managed to produce a car that is 96,000 brand new and less than 30 grand 3 years later. But looking at it, I'd still have one. Number 4, Maserati are here again. I mean, now this makes perfect sense. I mean, this is the Maserati Levante. Have a look. Looks like every other SUV on the road, except with a Maserati badge on the front and a horrible grille that I think they nicked from the original Peugeot 3008. And there's a reason why this one depreciates at a massive 70.87%. 70.87%. My next door neighbour just fucking ignored me, bitch. 143 grand brand new. No wonder this thing's depreciated. It's depreciated because it's been overpriced by 100 grand to start off with. So its retained value of 41 grand is probably the relevant value of it. Now, I've always wanted to own a Maserati, but I've got to admit, not this one. Not interested at all. So now we move on to the top 3 highest depreciating cars in Britain in 2025. Number 3. Have a guess. It's a Citroen. Oh, sorry, it's a DS. It's a bloody Citroen. The Citroen DS3 E-Tense. It's a Peugeot 3008 with a different badge on it. It's been jazzed up a bit with some flashy lights. I've got to admit, I haven't driven an electric DS, so can't comment on that. It's only got the 54 kilowatt battery in it, so the range will be shit. It's Stellantis Group, it'll be shit. New price 39 grand, shit. Retained value 11 grand, shit. Depreciation 71.68% depreciation over 3 years. I've had marriages that depreciated less than that. That's true too. I can back that up. I have nothing else to say on that. Number 2, the Vauxhall Mokka E. Shocking. Oh, what a shocking car. I mean, technically, that's the DS3 with a Vauxhall badge on it. It's exactly the same thing. It's just the same car with a different badge that depreciates at a slightly faster rate. And it's only very slight. So it's up to you. What do you want? Do you want the French car that depreciates quickly or the English car that depreciates quickly? Either way, they both shit anyway. Exactly the same battery, exactly the same running gear, exactly the same interior. They don't even try. The DS will have slightly jazzier interior because it's funky and it's French. 42 grand brand new. Value after 3 years, 11,900. Losing 71.7%. And now on to the not the elephant, the turd, the crowning turd in this water pipe chart. Not surprisingly, I'll tell you what is surprising. No Renault Zoe. That's what I'm surprised at. However, Zoe's twin sister is here, the hippie one that changed her name because she went to college and discovered Greenpeace and went off to save the whales and travelled for a bit, spent some time in Bali and Thailand, you know, ingratiated herself with the locals, by which I mean she had sex with them. And then she came back and she said, I don't want to be called Patricia anymore. I want to be called Leaf. And that's why the Nissan Leaf came along. I mean, there's videos again. You can watch the videos of me battling with a Nissan Leaf as I try to coax it over the line a whole 70 miles off one charge. I don't want to get there. It's just one of the worst cars on the road today. And it's one of the reasons that Nissan, and there's a video coming on that, why are Nissan going out of business in Britain? Well, they say the number one reason is the Nissan Leaf. Actually, they say the number one reason it's not going out of business is the Qashqai because it was so popular. I dispute that. I'd say the reason it's going out of business is because the Qashqai was so popular and then the gearboxes were shit on all of them. But that's a different story. So the Nissan Leaf, here we go. It's less than 30 grand brand new. You can buy one for £29,290. However, after 3 years, you'll only have 7,900 quid left. Oh, that's dropped 22 grand in 3 years. That's 7 grand a year. That's phenomenal. 73.03% depreciation in 3 years on the Nissan Leaf. Now, I don't know whether that 73% depreciation is in money or the battery life, because trust me, it's a very similar equation, because these things start off shit and then they end up even shitter. Go and have a look at all the second-hand Nissan Leafs that are available, and people are being very honest. You can go on Auto Trader or eBay, look up the adverts. People are very honest about what the range is of these things after a few years. And it is, across the board, 30 miles on a full charge. 30, 30, count it. That's the reason it's the biggest depreciating thing in the world, and that's the reason it's #1 in the charts. So there you have it. Out of the top 10, we've got 1, 2, 3, no, 4, 5. Oh, only half the top 10 are the fastest depreciation milk floats. The other 5 are huge saloons that cost 100 grand to buy in the first place and always lose money when they come out, and that's been going on for years. So forget them. They're not real cars in my world, because they're not cars that people buy on a daily basis, and they're cars that people can afford to have depreciation fall off them because they don't care. Whereas your average car driver, your average 30 grand car driving bargain hunting person, you know, look around me now, there's Golf there, there's a Mazda 6 there, there's a Nissan Juke there, well, there's a couple of Alfa Romeos, but they're mine. There's a BMW 1 Series, that's the other daughter's. There's not many Maseratis on this average middle class estate. There's certainly no S8s. There's certainly no S6s. And there are no large saloons. Well, only because I haven't got one at the moment. There's a Land Rover Discovery Sport down there. Oh, and a Ford Ranger truck. You get the basic. There's a basic survey around my estate, and we're all around the 30, 40 grand mark. There's nothing much going on here over that. And every single one of those milk floats falls into that bracket, and every single one is going to rip off your average car driver. Seriously, rip them off and make them poorer as a fact of owning it. So, there you go. Those are the facts. Dispute them if you want. Quite frankly, I don't care, because I will always say on this subject, a future my arse. Have a lovely weekend.